Hey everyone. If you're on the hunt for a book that's going to stick with your book club, really spark some deep conversations long after you finished it, well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into an anthology that's just perfectly built for that.
It's a question we all have to grapple with at some point, right? When we're hit with profound sorrow, with grief, where do we find that comfort, that solace? It's that exact question that sits right at the very heart of the book we're talking about today. And the book that dives headfirst into this is Despite the Rubicon, Stories of Solace and Sorrow by Simon Loft. What it is a collection of 5 totally different stories, but each one gives you a really unique window into that central question, finding light when things feel dark. So, what's really cool is that these stories jump all over the place genre-wise. We're talking contemporary fiction, sci-fi, even fantasy. But they're all tied together by this one really powerful thread, this search for solace when you're in the midst of sorrow. And let's be super clear about what we mean by solace. These stories, they aren't just about tragedy for tragedy's sake. No, they're about the human spirit's just incredible ability to find comfort, to find connection, and even meaning when things seem totally bleak. It's all about the consolation, not just the sadness. So here they are. These are the 5 lenses the book uses to explore that theme. Each title you see here, Cheshire, Shades, Iron Hands, A Fool's Valor, and Starry Eyes, is a door to a completely different world with a whole new cast of characters and a really unique journey. Okay, so let's get into the stories themselves. I want you to think of this next part as kind of like a tasting menu, right? I'm going to give you a little spoiler-free taste of each one, just enough to give you a feel for the world and the kinds of amazing conversations it could spark in your book club. First up, we have Cheshire. This one follows a young boy who's just completely fascinated by this mysterious classmate of his named Julia. She always sits in the back, she never ever says a word, and it doesn't matter if it's boiling hot or freezing cold, she's always wearing a scarf. It's this really quiet, thoughtful story about trying to connect with someone who seems, well, completely unreachable. Now, check out this quote. This actually comes from a story that Julia, the girl in the scarf, writes herself. It's a real gut punch. For a book club, a line like this is absolute gold. Right away, you're talking about hidden pain, the masks we all wear, and what friendship really truly means. All right, so we go from that very quiet, real-world story, and we just leap into some pretty high-concept sci-fi with shades. Imagine this. In this world, all life on Earth is slowly, and I mean literally, crystallizing into silicon. But consciousness, it survives, but as these fragmented shades that just wander a black, sandy landscape, trying to piece together who they used to be. And the way it's told is in these short, almost poetic bursts. This quote here really captures the whole feel of the story. A desperate search for identity, for connection, after everything is gone. This one will have your book club debating, what is consciousness really? What part of us actually endures? So after we've explored the afterlife, we come to a story that uses something we all know, a fairy tale, to tell a really personal, real-world story. Iron Hands reads just like a classic myth, right? A king and queen trying to save a child from a dragon, but it's actually this incredibly moving allegory for the just grueling, emotional journey of adoption and the pain of an unexpected loss. And the metaphorical power here is just fantastic. See, the king has hands of iron, and the queen has hands of velvet. When he loses her, he loses that softness, that balance. Just that one idea is a perfect example of the kind of rich symbolism a book club could spend a whole evening just unpacking. All right, keeping one foot in that allegorical world, we now shift to a more traditional fantasy setting with A Fool's Valor. This story is about King Solomon, who has to protect his kingdom from this powerful mythical wolf. And yeah, it starts out as a classic conflict, but it very quickly becomes this really deep exploration of leadership, of empathy, and what victory actually looks like. This line right here from the king is basically the anchor for the whole story. The entire narrative really hinges on this one idea. Is real courage found in rushing into battle, or is it found in trying to understand your enemy first? That question alone, it touches on pride, on strategy, on empathy. It's just the perfect catalyst for a deep conversation. And for our last story, we come back from the world of kingdoms and mythical beasts to a moment of just profound, quiet humanity. Starry Eyes kicks off in a monastery that's been turned into a hospice during some kind of mysterious plague. A dying mother gives birth to twins, and what happens next is just this incredible testament to an unspoken, almost supernatural bond between them. And this is the moment it all changes. The baby girl, who everyone thought was stillborn, miraculously comes to life, and she quiets her crying brother with just a single touch. It's such a powerful, heartwarming image, and it totally sets the stage for a story about finding solace, not through words, but through an unbreakable human connection. Okay, so we've had a taste of all five. But how do all these different pieces come together to create that perfect book club pick? Because it's really more than just a collection of good stories. This whole anthology feels like it was put together specifically for conversation. So here's the breakdown of why this works so well. First, you've got the diverse genres, which means there's going to be something for everyone in your group. Second, the characters are just unforgettable. From Silent Julia to King Solomon, they're going to stick with you. Third, the themes are so universal: loss, hope, connection. And finally, you put all that together, and you're pretty much guaranteed to have a fantastic, engaging discussion. It just works. And this chart really shows you that range I'm talking about. It's a huge part of the appeal. If you've got readers in your club who love grounded, realistic stories, Cheshire and Starry Eyes are right up their alley. But for the folks who love to escape into sci-fi and fantasy, the other three have them completely covered. It's just the perfect mix to make everybody happy. So when it comes down to it, what this book offers is a journey. A journey through sorrow that, story by story, leads you towards hope and understanding and connection. And that's exactly the kind of book that's just meant to be shared and talked about. So if you're ready to bring this to your next meeting, or honestly, if you just want to experience these stories for yourself, you can find Despite the Rubicon on Amazon right now. And hey, it's available in both Kindle and softcover, so you can grab whichever format works best for you and your group. And that's our look at Despite the Rubicon. I'll just leave you with this to think about. After that little tasting menu, which of these 5 stories, which path to solace, are you most curious to explore first? I hope you enjoy the read and have an even better time discussing it.